This is a very different scene from the one I wake up to every morning in Madrid. Yoly and I have been feeling a little bit of pandemic fatigue, so we decided to do something that we've always talked about but never actually done, which was escape winter in Madrid and flee to the Med. Yoly and I have come to Altea, a beautiful whitewashed Mediterranean town here in Alicante that's popular with tourists in summer and with expats who want to move to Spain. If Madrid has started to represent pandemic life, then we feel like this kind of represents the total opposite. And I guess I want to answer 3 questions. 1, is the Mediterranean relaxing in winter? 2, now with a child, can we travel as a family and make Spain revealed videos without too much stress and anxiety? And 3, perhaps most of all, in a pandemic that's still not over, can we start to get back to what life used to look like? Because I need it, like you. Yoly, we're here in winter. I mean, this would be amazing in summer.
Yeah.
What is you wanted to come to the Med in winter? What is that all about?
I don't know, there's something kind of mysterious and cozy about it. So I've always had that feeling of like I want to be, even like move to like a seaside town.
Move?
And like just enjoy the winter, you know? There's something kind of romantic slash cozy.
You want to move
slash
here only
mysterious.
for the winter?
Only for the winter. And then summer Madrid.
Back in Madrid in the Retiro, and then here cold on the Med. It's not that cold though, it's not too bad. It's about 8-9 degrees at 10 a.m. in the morning. But although this is a perfect spot here on the Med, before this video started, the trip actually started yesterday, and I wanted to give you guys a little bit of an insight into what the getting here looked like as a family, because it's not all dreams and easy and everything like that. So let me recount the last 24 hours for you. We left Madrid about midday and everything kicked off pretty well. Lucia usually doesn't like the car, but she slept and played happily. About halfway, we stopped at the village of Fuenterrobles and had a wonderful menú del día at the local tavern. We were joined by the village cat and a group of men who were discussing who does and who doesn't wear their seatbelt when driving around the village. Then after that, Lucia got a little hairy and started to cry for much of the rest of the way. Dad was in the back trying to comfort her and, to be honest, feeling a little stressed. Finally, we got to Altea as sun set and had to pick up the apartment keys from a supermarket that sold quite a lot of Russian alcohol. I then took a load of luggage upstairs as Yoly fed Lucia in the car. The front door of the apartment was broken, so I had to figure out how to get in the back way. I made it in and the lovely owners had left kava and fruit for us, so I put the kava in the fridge so it'd be cold by the time we finally settled in. Then I thought again and put the kava in the freezer. This had been a stressful afternoon, so I wanted the kava cold as soon as humanly possible. We parked our new car under a dodgy bridge where I was sure it was going to get stolen, and then we headed for the apartment using Lucia's stroller as a luggage trolley, which wasn't much help for us getting up the stairs behind the back door that we had to use. Once inside, I spent 10 minutes negotiating with the travel cot before I went out to buy some food for dinner. The supermarket with all the Russian alcohol had a staggering selection of Eastern European pre-packaged foods, but we weren't feeling very adventurous by this stage, so I went to the deli alongside to buy some cured meats and cheese. Meanwhile, Yoly sent me a WhatsApp that she'd spilt shampoo all over the apartment floor, so I got back and we dined on ham, cheese and kava, and settled in for what would undoubtedly be a wonderfully relaxing trip, making this video. I'm now going to get out of my tights, have a shower, please, and we're going to go and explore Altea. Maybe I should keep the tights on for the whole trip.
No.
Altea in tights.
Let's not do that.
See it now. I just need to figure out the thumbnail. Let me have a shower and we'll hit Altea. So the apartment is on the Paseo Marítimo. Now, when you're in a Spanish seaside town, you're going to find one of these, and they're usually really beautiful and well done. Palm trees, the beach, restaurants, and it's about a 10-minute walk up to the old city where we're heading now. So if you're wondering if it's too hot or how the weather is in the Med in winter, I'm taking the shirt off. So behind the Paseo Marítimo, you just climb up through these winding whitewashed streets, which are beautiful. Flowers dangling from balconies. A full winter Med dream, right?
Yeah, exactly. I was just thinking that I used to carry like all the coats and stuff when we were climbing things, and now I carry coats and a baby.
Well, I have to carry the camera. The camera's heavy.
The camera got heavier.
The other baby. Which way do we go? That way.
That way?
Thank you.
I wanted to go that way.
You guys on YouTube?
Yeah.
I've seen you.
Oh, really?
Nice to see you.
Yeah.
Nice to see you. So the goal of the hike up Altea is to the beautiful church that's at the top, and we're both sweating and it's January. So imagine visiting here in August and humping up there. So maybe January is the time to come to Alicante. But if you do get to the top in August, the church with its famous, beautiful 2 blue tiled domes is the perfect spot to cool off and consider the mysteries of the universe. So there's a series of festivals that happens in Alicante and the broader Valencian region every year in Spain that are really important. I've never seen them, but they're called the Moors and Christians festivals. And the locals in the different towns dress up and parade, dressed up as either Moors or Christians, and reenact the conquering of Spain by the Moors in the 8th century, and then the reconquest centuries later by the Christians. And this museum here has all the costumes, both medieval and Moorish, that the locals in Altea have worn at the various festivals over the years. It's very, very cool. I would love to come to one of these festivals. So standing up here on the lookout at the top of Altea by the church, looking out over the Med, you think about all the people who have been here over the centuries. The Iberians, then the Phoenicians and the Greeks came as traders, then the Romans bringing viticulture, then the Moors brought irrigation techniques and rice that we'll be having for lunch in a few minutes. Then you had the Reconquest, and then of course in the 17th century there were Berber pirate incursions, and these lookouts were important to keep an eye on the coast for when the pirates were coming. Now when we have people from all over the world wanting to live here and tourists wanting to come, it's like for centuries everybody's wanted to come and live in this spot. I don't blame them, especially with Januaries like this. Okay, after humping up that hill and down again with camera baby and real baby, I'm ready for rice. Are you ready for rice, Yoly?
I am.
Hungry? 3 p.m. sitting in the sun.
Yes, I am.
January. Did I mention January? What did you think of Altea?
Altea, it's lovely, actually, village, which I always think is Andalusia, but it's actually here in Valencia, and I love that,
Yeah. Okay, let's eat. Sun cream in January?
Yeah. Did you say January?
Yeah, did I mention it's January?
Uh-huh.
Like. Back growing up in New Zealand, I have memories of my mother putting zinc on my nose and lips. I guess zinc was like an intense form of sun cream.
Wow.
Kind of big white nose. Cheers. Cava. Cava in January. Did I mention January? Did I mention cava? That sip tasted of sunscreen. Lovely. You have to eat paella, an arroz, a rice dish when you're here in Alicante. But which one do you eat? Well, we just asked the waiter, what is local? He said, well, we're kind of all local. It didn't get easier. You do have a choice between like a dry rice, which is like a paella, or an arroz meloso, which is like a more soupy rice. So or caldoso. I called it, meloso and caldoso.
Yeah, meloso and caldoso.
I mean, guys, you're going to be lost. Just ask for a paella and you'll be good. No, I'm teasing. You're at the pearly gates and God asks you a question. Arroz, paella, meloso, caldoso.
Paella.
Dry rice.
Yeah, maybe if it's autumn, I will get a meloso. Caldoso, which is the more liquidy one, not such a big fan, I guess.
We had a great caldoso in Fuerteventura at a fisherman's hut.
Yeah.
I mean, fisherman's hut. It wasn't that, quaint. It was a restaurant, fisherman's restaurant. It was by the sea. That was by the sea.
Sorry, I can't see you with my eyes closed.
Yeah. Sorry, I can't hear you because of the glass. When I had the glasses on, you guys can see us, right? Okay, so he presented the paella as he must and then served it up. Artichokes, tuna, and baby broad beans. I think there's some squid in there as well.
By the way, the shakiness of the camera is not due to me, it's due to Lucia.
Lucia is filming right now. Oh my God, it's really good. Ooh. Beautiful, intense fumé flavor. Fumé. Rice in January, fumé in January. It's all in January. Is that a thing? Lucia is fired. She cannot handle a camera. So when the Moors came in the 8th century, they brought rice and the ability to cultivate rice. And now rice is like the king dish here in Alicante. In 1609, when the Moors were expelled from Spain, 40% of the population was Muslim. That was a huge impact on the culture, the society. There was an economic decline in the early 17th century after the expulsion of the Moors. 40% of the population of this region were Muslim. I think that's fascinating. So the car wasn't stolen, right?
No, yeah, it was there.
Hasn't been scratched, wrecked.
No, beautiful.
Yoly, have you ever been to Benidorm?
I have not. I have watched the TV series though.
Oh, there you go.
Remembering Neptune's matter. If you want to get pissed, then show us your wrist.
A few chapters. I
Yeah.
would say.
Lucia, have you been to Benidorm? I certainly haven't been to Benidorm, and I'm pretty excited.
I'm excited about the architecture there.
Really?
Apparently, it can be kind of cool, you know. Yeah.
Let's go to Benidorm, baby. I mean, babies. So we've arrived in Benidorm. Yoly's feeding Lucia, and I've walked out onto what's called the Balcón del Mediterráneo, which is this little outcropping where there used to be a medieval castle to protect what was once a small town from pirates. And my first impressions of Benidorm were twofold. It is huge. We've got this sweeping beach on one side and a sweeping beach on the other side, and of course the huge high-rise buildings. But what strikes me is just the incredible natural beauty of this place. These enormous sweeping beaches and the crystal blue waters around us and the mountains up behind. I see what it looks like when we get a little closer, but from a distance, it's pretty stunning. Benidorm is the cradle of Spanish sun and sand tourism, and in some ways, the cradle of all modern Spanish tourism. I mean, this was just a tiny fishing village in the 1950s, and the mayor at the time had a plan, and he decided to build a high-rise effectively to get as many people in as small a space as possible. In that case, you've got to build up. Built this place that now is kind of both fascinating, grotesque, depending on how you look at it. Either way, it is a feat of human something. Invention, imagination, I don't know, but it's kind of surreal to look back on it. Benidorm from afar might be impressive, but once you get closer, the whole English breakfast, Jägerbomb and Tetley tea reality comes crashing in. But hey, if you can't beat them, join them. So Yoly and I looked for a lunch spot with sea views and a strong line and large sangrias. Here we are, on the beach, well, next to the beach, drinking sangria in Benidorm. I feel like I have arrived. Yoly, I don't know where I've arrived, but I've arrived.
Maybe you're a seaman.
I don't know what this is. I'm not a seaman. I don't even know what that means. We've ordered food. I'm kind of excited about the food. And hey, Benidorm, better than you think. Does Lucia like Benidorm?
She enjoys Benidorm. She tries to come here once a year at least. She's going to do that every year of her life now.
What if we became crazy Benidorm people?
You know, we're doing like the resort, you know, with the bracelet and everything,
and
you know?
became Benidorm revealed.
You know, why not?
Would that be fun?
I got the lobster ravioli. Why not? Yeah, you know, I wanted to go international.
Nice.
Italian.
Felt
so
appropriate.
Yeah, you know, why not? How about you?
So I was very boring and I got the fish. Let's see how our Benidorm meal is. Should we eat at the same time? A bit ridiculous. Oh, it's good. Yeah? Yummy fish. Sangria is good. The view's good. We're moving to Benidorm, people. This is it. But if I'm going to be honest with you guys, I think Altea might be more our vibe. Low rise. That paella was pretty incredible yesterday. Yeah? Mm-hmm. Altea?
I'll go with that.
Altea. Benidorm, better than you expect. Altea, even better than Benidorm. So just so you don't think that we're spending all our time basking on the beaches of Benidorm,
We would never do that.
we are now in the Sierra Gelada National Park, which is just south of Altea, which has some really dramatic views after you walk for a little bit. See how far we can get.
Those views better be dramatic though.
There's where we're going, up there.
Will we make it?
Well, the drama, the tension is killing me.
This one's starting to complain, so...
Is she?
Uh-huh.
Uh-oh. Okay, the lighthouse is there. And Lucia's starting to complain, right?
Yeah, too far for this one. Not for me, for her.
All right. I will
So,
complete the mission
going
alone.
back to the car.
I'll see you at the car.
Get good images.
Yeah. Ciao. Wow, it took longer than I thought to get up here, and I didn't know if I'd make it before sunset, but it's staggering, the views. The horizon out to, what's that, the east is on fire. Altea behind us, and I think way in the distance there's Calpe. The lighthouse is shining. Up on this rock behind us are the remains of a fortress, a medieval fortress. Pirates used to use the coves in the base of this mountain to hide, and so they set up a fortress here to protect the area. It's a pity Yoly and Lucia couldn't make it. Tell you what, making videos as a family is, well, travel videos as a family, a little bit different, but we're getting there. And also you can see inland the dramatic mountain ranges. You know, a lot of people think of Alicante, the Costa Blanca, as just the coast, but inland is beautiful mountains, and that's where we're going tomorrow. We're going inland to taste wine from this region and explore the hinterland of Alicante. We've come to one of the most famous wineries here in Alicante, Enrique Mendoza. Now, when you think of Spanish wine, you may not immediately think of Alicante wine. You may think of Rioja, Ribera del Duero. But here's the thing, the winemaking in this region has such a long history. And Louis XIV said that on his deathbed, he wanted to eat cakes soaked in Alicante wine. We kicked off with a brief tour of the winery, including down into the belly of the beast, where Enrique Mendoza's best wines are aging. Here, they're harnessing solar power and maximizing water usage to reduce their carbon footprint, and they plan to be fully organic by 2024. But I was starting to get thirsty, so it was time for the tasting. And now the moment that really everybody's waiting for when you do a winery tour, and that's the tasting time. And we're going to taste 7 wines, right? So I need Yoly's fingers there because I'm holding the camera. And I'm going to be using what I want to now call the Louis XIV rating system. I'm going to decide which of these 7 wines is my deathbed wine. All right, the first one, a Chardonnay. Crisp, light, fruity. Now we're on to the rosé. Let's see, bit of a swirl, bit of a smell, thinking mortal thoughts, thinking of my deathbed. Oh, that's good, dry, but really fruity. This is a mix of Merlot and Monastrell. Monastrell is the local grape here in Alicante. Let's have a sip. Ooh, that's good, smoky. And this one is predominantly Monastrell, that local grape. Elegant, but big and chunky, I like that. 100% Monastrell. 70 odd years are the average age of the vines. Ooh, big, bold, elegant. Yoly, strike me down.
Oh no.
It ends here. Not to sound pretentious, it kind of reminds me of Alicante. There's a dryness to it, but there's an elegance, there's a beauty, but there's a rawness. Kill me now. Another big wine. This is Santa Rosa, a very famous one here. Oh, Yoly. Hold your horses. Can you die twice? Is that a thing? Next, we headed for the hills towards the famous town of Guadelest, known as one of the most beautiful villages in Spain. As well as its gorgeous surroundings, it's also known for its miniatures museum, with exhibits such as the entire Bible printed on a strand of hair and a flea wearing clothes and riding a bicycle. But I was here for the views, so leaving Yoly and Lucia, I climbed the many stairs to the top. And it's here in the 11th century that the Moors built a defensive tower right behind me to guard over the valley below. Not much of it remains today, but it's a hell of a hike to get up here. But once you do, the views of the reservoir and of the valley below are staggering. And it just goes to show that Alicante isn't just the Costa Blanca and the wonderful beaches. Once you go inland, there's incredible richness here too that's really worth exploring. All right, let's go and find Yoly and Lucia.
There you are.
Last.
So, it's not easy making YouTube videos for the baby, right?
No, but I mean, we've learned a few lessons, right? And we'll keep learning.
Yeah, we're
right?
getting there. Another thing I was thinking about while we're making this video is I think a lot of us are thinking as the pandemic ends or when it ends, we want to get back to living the life that we once lived. And I'm thinking more and more it's about trying to live the little bits of the life actually that we've always dreamed of living.
Our new normal, right? With a baby.
With a baby. Instead of going into the past, it's like, well, what have we always wanted life to look like? And maybe starting to try to embrace that.
Yeah,
so,
maybe a few days in winter in the Med.
A week in winter in the Med. A new family tradition, right?
Yeah.
A new family tradition.
Guys, if you like traveling with us, we've created a playlist with a few trips like this one. Click below.
Ciao. See you in Spain.